Continuing on in the book of Revelation, today we find ourselves in chapter 18, which is the fall of Babylon. Now, the fall of Babylon. After this, I saw another angel coming down from heaven, having great authority, and the earth was made bright with his glory. And he called out with a mighty voice, "Fallen, fallen is Babylon the Great. She has become the dwelling place for demons, a haunt of every unclean spirit, a haunt of every unclean bird, a haunt of every unclean detestable beast. For all the nations have drunk the wine of the passion of the sexual immorality, and the kings of the earth have committed immoral, immorality with her, and the merchants of the earth have grown rich from the power of her luxurious living." Then I heard another voice from heaven saying, "Come out of her, my people, lest you be taken part in her sin, lest you share in her plagues, for her sins are heaped high as heaven, and God has remembered her iniquities, paying her back as she herself paid back others, and repaid her double her deeds, mixed a double portion for her in the cup she mixed, as she glorifies herself in living in luxury, so given her a like measure of torment and mourning, since in her heart she said, I sit as a queen, I am no widow, and mourning I shall never see. For a reason her plagues will come in a single day, death and mourning and famine, and she will be burned up with fire. For mighty is the Lord God who has judged her. And the kings of the earth who commit sexual immorality and lived in luxury with her will weep and wail over her when they see the smoke of her burning. They will stand afar off in fear and in torment and say, Alas, alas, the great city, the mighty city Babylon, for in a single hour her judgment has come. And the merchants of the earth weep and mourn for her, since no one buys their cargo anymore, cargo of gold, silver, jewels, pearls, fine linen, purple cloth, silk, scarlet cloth, all kinds of scented woods, all kinds of articles of ivory, all kinds of articles of costly wood, bronze, iron, or marble, cinnamon, spices, increased myrrh, frankincense, wine, oil, fine flour, wheat, cattle, and sheep, horses and chariots and slaves. There is human souls, the fruit for which your souls long have gone from you, and all your delicacies and splendors are lost to you, never to be found again. The merchants of their wares and the gains wealth from her will stand far off in fear of her torment, weeping and mourning aloud, Alas, alas, the great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet, adorned with gold, with jewels and with pearls, for in a single hour all this wealth has been laid waste. And the shipmasters and the seafaremen, sailors, all who traded in on the sea, stood afar off and cried out as they saw the smoke of her burning, What city was like this great city? And they threw dust on their heads, and they wept and mourned, crying out, Alas, alas, the great city, whose all who had ships at sea, great riches by her wealth, for in a single hour she has been laid waste. Rejoice over her, O heavens, and you saints and apostles and prophets, for God has given judgment for you against her. Then a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and threw it into the sea, saying, So will Babylon the great city be thrown down with violence, and will be found no more. And the sound of her harpist and music and the flute players and the trumpeters will be heard in her no more. And the craftsmen of any craft will be found in you no more. And the sound of the mill will be heard in you no more. The light of the lamp will shine in you no more. And the voice of the bridegroom and the bride will be heard in you no more. For your merchants were the great ones of the earth, and all nations were deceived by your sorcery, and in her was found the blood of the prophets and the saints, and all who have been slain on earth. And that finishes the reading of this chapter.